So what's the way ahead? US President Joe Biden is arriving in Israel tomorrow evening. Joining me now is Michal Mayan. She's Israel's Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations in New York. Appreciate your joining us, ma'am. We are looking at this entire issue at a time when there is growing concern both about the hostage crisis as well as the unfolding humanitarian disaster in the Gaza Strip. Several UN agencies now warning that mass evacuations will have to take place because of the Israeli siege of Gaza. That could lead to disaster, and among the most vulnerable are elderly and pregnant who can't relocate. How is Israel viewing these concerns, ma'am?
First, I want to thank you for having me on the show and talking about the situation. Israel is very closely following the humanitarian situation in Gaza. We are also checking every possible venue in order to help the civilian population. I can tell you that access to water has been granted throughout the Gaza Strip, and we are also looking at possibility to allow for fuel for emergency cases. But I'd like to also share with you a recent development. We have seen reports by UNRWA of medical emergency supplies and gas being stolen from their facilities. And this is part of the problem. We are here fighting a war. This war was imposed on us by a terrorist, bloodthirsty organization that unfortunately has no quarrels in also sacrificing the life of innocent Palestinians. So we're closely following it. We're doing everything we can, but our focus is still remaining to target Hamas and take out all the facilities of their terrorist organization in the Gaza Strip.
But the fact also, Ms. Mayan, is there is a danger of this conflict getting widened. Fears being expressed that we could soon have a two-front war with the Hezbollah in Lebanon. Already there have been strikes on that side of the border as well. Countries like Saudi Arabia also making it clear that innocent Palestinian lives must not be at stake. Within the Gulf, within the Middle East, is Israel a little isolated in its plans to dismantle Hamas, or do you have full support not just from the US, but other countries as well?
Well, I would say that you can see from recent years and recent development how firm we are in our call for peace and stability in the Middle East. And that has been shown by our commitment to promote relations with Arab countries and create cooperation for a better life for everyone in the Middle East. Unfortunately, our actions have been perceived as a threat by terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah, by terrorist-sponsoring countries like Iran. We have seen in the weekend their efforts to encourage more groups to enter into this war. We discourage that. We are willing to fight for our existence, for the right to exist in the Middle East. That's what we're doing. And we will do it whatever it takes. These are our goals. It is very unfortunate. We didn't want this war. It was brought to us by the event October 7th, and we will be focused in our goal. And I can actually tell you that we hear also the moderate voices of the countries in the region calling the reality for what it is. Terrorist organization Hamas has started this war in an attempt to destabilize the Middle East. We will finish it on our terms, and we will make sure there are no terrorist organizations sitting on our borders with the will and ability to attack our civilians the way they did on October 7th.
You're saying you will end this war on our terms, we will dismantle Hamas, we will destroy Hamas. What do you exactly mean, Ms. Mayan, when you say you will end this war on your terms? What are those terms?
We will go in and we will find the people responsible for the atrocities that we have witnessed. We will take out the infrastructure from within Gaza, and we will do so with every possible effort in order to minimize the harm to civilians. I will be very honest with you. If they would set the hostages free and by the way, stop firing missiles at our people, more than 6,600 missiles since October 7th. My family is still living in safe rooms. Everyone is under attack. When we're talking about humanitarian crisis, there's also a crisis in Israel where tens of thousands of people have been evacuated. This is a war. This is a horrible situation, and it will end when we get the hostages released and we dismantle the infrastructure for terror that exists right now within Gaza.
But can I ask you, in terms of sequencing, is the top priority to ensure the hostages are released? Will there then be a cessation of hostilities? Is your government even willing to negotiate with Hamas at any stage for the release of Israeli citizens and other citizens who are being held hostage?
I can tell you that my government is doing everything in its power in order to make sure that these children and women and elderly and everyone, every single person that has been taken hostage by Hamas returns safely to their families. That means every possible venue is being explored. I don't want to share more, but we will do whatever it takes.
You will do whatever it takes to ensure that the hostages return safely. Michal Mayan, joining me, Israel's Deputy Representative to the United Nations there in New York. I appreciate you joining me here on the news today. Thank you so much.